Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Hometown Heroes podcast for Sunday, November 5th, 2017. How you doing? How's your week been? How's your month been? How has your year been? 2017 is almost over, all right? It hasn't been a great year for the world. Let's be honest here. It's a shitty year. The whole world's going to hell. I think I just saw a headline right now that it looks like the military is wanting us to invade North Korea to do some shit. All right? I don't know. Whole world's probably going to end. But you know what? We're all from somewhere. We're all going somewhere. And this podcast is all about where we're from. All right? Your hometown. It's happy stuff. And so I'm really happy to have a good, happy comedian on this episode with us today, Mr. Avery Pearson, okay? Avery is hilarious, one of the nicest guys I know, and you know what? In comedy, usually nice means not funny. Not the case here, all right? Avery's nice and actually funny, a new father. Speaking of which, check out his new music video dropping on November 9th. That will be this week. It's called I'm Not Equipped to Be a Father. Hilarious song. I've seen him perform it at his hilarious show, The 88 Show. It's a monthly show at the Hollywood Improv. I think it's monthly on Wednesdays. I'm not sure when the next one's going to be, but let's see it on here. But the last one was the 18th. I don't know. But the 18th of October. So there's one coming up in November. So look it up. Keep an ey out on that. You can follow Avery on Twitter at Avery Funny. That's AVERYFUNNY. All right, follow him there. He'll keep you posted on when the next show is going to be. Avery is also part of the Midnight Snack Crew, the trio at the Hollywood Improv. That's him, Josh Adam Myers, and Jeremiah Watkins. I don't know if they do that as much anymore because they're also part of the goddamn Comedy Jam crew. All right, and I'm sure you've heard about that. That's on Comedy Central. And they take it on the road a lot, okay? Last plug for Avery. He features for Adam Ray all across the country. If you want to check out the dates for that, go to adamraycomedy.com, okay? Let me see. What are some dates coming up? Oxnard, California. That's coming up November 5th. What's today? Okay, yeah. So if you're in Oxnard, go see him tonight at 7 p.m., okay? San Diego, November 7th. Phoenix, November 8th. All right, so go all over the place. All right, check it out. I'm going to keep this one short because this interview ran a little long because it was so good. All right, really fun episode, really fun guy. Not a mushroom. What else? Is there anything else I need to talk about? Doing a lot of work, blah, 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 blah. I already told you guys about the colleges. What else? Oh, about Canada. Oh, a couple good things. All right. One thing you probably noticed already, new music up top. All right, that music is music by Divine Right, and the song is called Supernatural. That is a band from Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. All right, that's going to be a new thing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be featuring music by people and bands and singers and whatnots from the hometowns of the episode. If for some reason, it's a small town where no one's from, wife just asked me what semolina is. Come on, it's semola. That's the pasta flour. Come on. I'm making homemade pasta tonight for my wife's birthday. Delicious. Anyway, so that's what that is. Gonna try to do that. If for some reason there's no musicians from the hometown, I'll just use the closest city. Doing that, and then also you're gonna notice that this is I'm not gonna do weekly anymore. I'm gonna do bi-weekly. That way it gives myself a little more time to do better research. So this episode, but I'll still do the weekly intro. You guys can hear my voice every week, and also let's say next week I was doing Thornhill. I'll get on this week and say, hey, doing Thornhill Ontario. Anyone from there, anyone who knows anything about it, help me out. Send me some stories. Send me some questions even. Maybe stuff that you want to know about it. Maybe you're from there. You have some stories. Maybe you know the history that some people, that Wikipedia and whatnots might not know. So that's going to be a new thing with the podcast. So music up top is from the place, and we're doing every other week. Actually, next week I'm going to be recording for San Francisco, Pacific Heights specifically, the neighborhood Pacific Heights, San Francisco. So if you know anything specific about that, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Instagram's probably the best. It's my favorite place, and also Facebook. And all of it's at Here With Joe Carl. Here With Joe Carl. All right, that's HEREWITHJOECARL. Okay, hit me up on that, and that way, you can help me out. That's a great way you can help out with the podcast. I think that's it. Keeping it keeping it short right here. Enjoy this episode, okay? And I will see you next week when we are doing Pacific. What was it? Pacific Hills? Pacific, God damn it. It was San Francisco. Pacific Heights, Pac Heights, California. Thank you.
Genuinely insane.
How's it been going?
It's good. He's healthy. He's happy. He loves me. He plays piano. We have these 2 little player pianos, so he
has a baby piano?
Yeah, he's got a baby grand, and he's got Fisher Price, and he literally plays them with 2 hands. We have a 3-legged dog that is his best friend, and it's cool.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Well, we're here. I just started recording because you were talking about your little baby boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's turn the AC off and get sweaty in my apartment. All right. Yeah. We are here. Welcome to the Hometown Heroes podcast, everybody. Yeah. We're here with our good friend Avery Pearson.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. You're going to hear a lot about where I'm from, and I'm actually very excited to hear. You're going to know more about where I'm from than I am, I think, to be honest.
That's what it happens a lot. That's what happens a whole lot when we do this.
Yeah.
Before we get started, why don't we go ahead and I like to do plugs up top. So let's plug away. What's your Twitter, Instagram? What you got shows coming up?
Yeah, you can find me at Avery Funny across all platforms. My thing is I do the 88 show at the Hollywood Improv.
Great show.
Thank you very much. I love it. I work really hard on it. The show is a talk show where the band is the host and I'm the band. I'm the host. Mm-hmm. And I have comics come on and we do original comedy songs. So they'll do a set and then we'll banter a bit, kind of like a Dean Martin special. And then we sing this original song. And I think it's the only show like it. And I'm super stoked. Hopefully some good festival things happening for it soon. And so you can check that out November 29th at the Hollywood Improv, 9:30 p.m. at the Lab. And I'm on the road. If you guys are listening around America, you can catch me with Adam Ray headlining comedy clubs all over the country. We are going to be doing Tempe coming up in mid-November, and then we got New York in early December. Edmonton's going to be in the New Year. We got a bunch of places come up. So just go to Adam Ray stand-up tour dates, and you can check me on the road. And what else is going on? Oh, you know what I'm really excited for is I'm about to release my first music video.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's called...
Which song is it?
It's called I'm Not Equipped to Be a Father.
Great song.
Right? Thanks, man. You've been to my show.
Dude, the 88 show is... I'm not just saying this because you're my guest today. Favorite show in the Lab right
Really?
now. No, it really is.
Thanks, dude.
You've changed it, though. You started... It used to be all improv songs, so you would have guests come and, like, you guys, they would do a set, and then you would do a short little interview, and based on that interview, you would come up with a song on the spot.
Right.
And I actually liked it like that. Yeah. I liked it because, not just because sometimes it was magical whenever it would work.
Right. That was the problem.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like, not everyone's is like, good on their feet like you are with coming up with songs. It wouldn't work. But the beauty of that is you had you, and then every once in a while Jeremiah Watkins and Josh Adam Myers would pop in, and it would just be like a beautiful little, it was super organic thing where it would just like fix itself. Yeah. And I loved that. I think you should still have at least one improv or
one nightmare set.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a total nightmare, and like it's terrifying. I don't think I could do it.
It's cool. Like, Yeah, that's sort of what happened. I mean, I
should also point out it's amazing still. Like having the original songs. I guess they come throughout the week and like come up with a song, right?
These guys come over to my house and like
it's
Brian
still
Callen
good.
was
It's still
over.
totally good.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, like Brian Callen will come over, or like whoever is on the show, they come over and they're like in my living room and they meet my kid and my dog, and then we write this song. And like last month we had Jonathan Kite, and it was, just right in the middle of North Korea news and Trump and Weinstein. It was like insane, and we wanted to say something about it, but we just realized white guys have said enough.
Yeah.
So we did a song about it, and the chorus was white guys have said enough.
Oh, that's
so
great.
instead we're going to do what's simple and fun and just do impressions. And so we just did this song of impressions, and I think people liked it because it was just like a break.
Is Brian married? Is he a married guy as well?
Brian. Oh, Callen?
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about Jonathan Kite, but Brian.
John. Oh, is he married?
John's not.
He's not. I was going to
no.
say you're married. I'm married. That's the number one thing. Everything with like guys, even with well intentions, going on long rants about what like, oh, here's my me too as well. It's like, nah, dude. Anyone who's married knows like the best thing you need to do is shut up and listen, man. Just shut up and listen. That's all you got to do, right?
I have another song that I wrote for my wife, and the chorus is when your wife is upset, it goes, "Just say that sucks. I feel your pain. I can't believe it. That's so insane. I'm here to listen. I won't interrupt. I'm sorry, honey, because I know that really sucks."
That's it.
And that's the secret to a good relationship is just go. You just listen. You don't try and fix it because you can't.
You can't.
And you just go, God, that sucks. And they go, yeah, it does. And you go, yeah, it does. And you're justified. And everything you're feeling is right. Just whatever your wife says. If your wife is like, hey, the Holocaust didn't happen. You go, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. And it sucks that people think otherwise, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that is it. Place.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But maybe if you want to keep and stay in a relationship, yes.
I'm going to push pause, and then we're going to get to Thornhill. I just realized in the late setting up, I didn't get water, and I'm already parched.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Guys, take a break. Grab some water.
This will be 5 milliseconds for you.
Okay.
All right.
And break.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's all right.
So, for those of you, we decided to split a beer.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more Canadian than sharing a beer with a friend.
And, all right, so now we're going to get to it. What are we here for? It is Thornhill, Ontario,
God
Canada.
Bless it. Thornhill, Ontario, Canada.
Oh man, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
It was a good one to hear about. So you want to hear about the history of Thornhill?
I'd love to.
All right, so let me just make sure we're still recording. I suck at this. This is part of the podcast.
You're doing great.
This is part of the story of the Hometown Heroes podcast is how bad the host Joe Carl Abusaker sucks at.
Well, for those of you that are. You guys are all listening, so just so you have an idea, we're actually sitting in Joe's bathtub right now with water in it, and we're recording this podcast. He's convinced me that this is the best way to record a podcast is to have water in the room, and we've like
no bubbles.
No.
It's very important. There's no bubbles.
We can see everything. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. Let's get into it. Let me give you a little history. The growth and development of Thornhill is directly related to the several geographical factors. Also, I suck at reading, so
okay,
there's a lot of it. The development, namely the development of Yonge Street. Do you know Yonge Street?
Young Street.
Young. Why is it spelled like that?
It's
Y-O-N-G-E.
I'm glad you say this. And my buddies at home are going to get a good, because we call it Yonge because it's funny to say that. So it's Young Street. It's by Young Street, Y-O-U-N-G. This is spelled Y-O-N-G-E. And it's just like one of those things like in New York how you have Houston Street because it's named after a guy named Houston. It's not called Houston Street. Just like that. Young Street, I'm going to jump you here, is the longest street in the world.
Yeah, Avery.
Boom.
How dare you insult me and not think I already knew that from all the research.
Yonge.
It is.
And listen, I'm going to tell my buddy Adam Risbridger to listen to this. Mm-hmm. He's the pig. They call him the South Hill Pig. He's from a place called Richmond Hill, which is just north of Thornhill. He's a hilarious comedian and rapper, and he's got this one. He goes, he's the this is my favorite lyric that he goes. He goes, when I'm gripping the mic, I'm ripping it better than Casey Kasem with ill flows. You know that I'll be coming up out of the basement because
that was really impressive.
He's impressive. I didn't write that, but he used to live in his parents' basement for a very long time. And I just want to give a shout out to Yon Street and Adam Risbridger.
He lived in his parents' basement. I want you to take a mental note of living in the parents' basement, and we're going to get back to that at some point.
Okay, good.
All right, so it's the development of it is directly related to the geographical factors. In the early 19th century, water was the main source of power that drove industrial machinery. Thus, the Don River played an important role in the early development. You know all about
this is great.
It provided power for saw and flour mills that were established in the area by the new settlers. A lot of settlers come to Thornhill over history time. History time. What other kind of time?
I don't know. Time.
Yeah.
History.
Dead time.
Yeah. Or her story.
Oh, yeah. These mills helped produce lumber to build homes and flour to help produce staple foods such as bread and other baked goods. In 1801, Jeremiah Atkinson, not Watkins, built the first major sawmill on the Don, west of Young Street.
You can call it Yonge.
I'm going to call it Yonge.
Yeah.
A flour mill was constructed in 802, and gradually, as a result of the mill's first signs of urban development began to emerge. So people, hey, where there's mills, there's people.
Where there's mill, there's a way.
Actually, that is 100% true.
Yeah.
The years following the War of 1812 saw another wave of immigration. So first they're coming for the mills, then they're coming because at the end of the Napoleon's Wars. I'm not going to try to say words.
It's like a type of ice cream when you say it.
Yeah, Neapolitan Wars. Man, whenever strawberry gets in my bowl,
heck yeah,
I will destroy some Frenchmen. I'm telling you. Was characterized by significant social and economic changes by Britain. So basically, a lot of upper class families that were newly impoverished came in here because hey, there's work, right?
So these are people that lost in the American War, British, and they came up to Canada. Is that what you're saying?
A lot of them, a
bunch of British losers.
Exactly.
You're saying populated my hometown.
That's 100%.
Oh, what are we doing here? We didn't beat the Americans. Why don't we go to a place called Canada? Do you know the meaning of Canada? Is it in there?
No. The meaning of the word Canada?
What it means?
What does it mean?
Okay, so when we were kids, we had this thing called a part of our heritage, and they would do these videos, and they would show us different things. So, they would show us the guy that invented, that did the roadmap of the brain, and they would have this thing where they would say, "Oh, I smelled burnt toast," and so,
like a stroke.
Like a stroke, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that was like thing. So Canada, the British came. And they asked the native Canadians, the First Nations people we call, that because they were the first in the nation, they're like, what is that over there? And they're pointing at the town, right? And they were kind of saying, what is this country called? That's what the British asked. And the First Nations thought they meant, oh, what is that over there? And it's like, that's a village. Those are people. And in this whatever particular sect of the First Nations, the word Canada means village or people. So literally it is the country of the village or people. The country of the village.
The country of the village people.
That's
the country of the village people.
Dun, 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 Canada. Dun, dun, Canada. Young, yeah. So that's
Young Street.
Yep. You could do my show. You're doing great.
I would love to.
Yeah, there you are. This is what this is all about.
I would never do that. I'm too terrified. I've seen too many people fail at it.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Maybe we'll come up with an original.
Too many good people.
That's what's so beautiful about it. All right.
Okay.
Something I'm noticing about researching these towns and city, though, is this is a city that was that brought in immigration all the time. So whether by sawmills or like it was a place of not just refuge but a new life.
Yep.
That's one kind of town and city. Another kind of town and city, like the last weeks of Michael Anochi's, is a lot of places that popped up like in the 50s that went from being a farm town, like where it was just all land, to real estate moguls wanting to like create a place.
Where's Lanochi from? Florida, right?
He's from outside Fort Lauderdale.
Jesus.
And I forgot the name of it.
The cultural capital of the world.
Yeah, totally. So and this is one of the former. This is one of the these. I don't want to say one's better than the other, but I enjoy.
You can say mine's better.
This is better. Yeah. I like reading about these because it creates this. It's not one vision's culture. It's a lot of cultures, which we're going to get back to that.
A lot to talk about that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of particular importance was the arrival of Benjamin Thorne.
Ah.
The grandpappy of your hometown. In 1820, Thorne set up a warehouse in York dealing with the export of grain and the import of iron.
So York was Toronto before it was Toronto.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When William Purdy's when William Purdy's mill burnt down. That is a hard sentence.
That's it. William Purdy Mills. William Purdy Mills. That is hard.
You don't have
That's
to brag.
maybe they were like, I can't say, where are we going? William, I don't like, let's burn it down.
Yeah.
Let's burn it down to the ground.
When it burnt down, Thorne purchased the remains and erected an even larger flour mill.
He definitely did arson. He definitely set that up.
That's so.
Did he?
I love that you brought that up. It doesn't say that he did.
It definitely happened.
But I like that that's where your mind's at because there's a lot of little things that are going to happen here.
This is the wild north at the time.
Exactly. By 1830, Thorne was operating a flour mill, a sawmill, and a tannery. Which
wait a minute.
Do you know what a tannery is?
It's where
you go get tan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the tanning beds. I didn't know they had tanning beds back
Wait,
then.
are you serious?
No, not serious.
God.
Avery, come on.
You looked at me. You're like, you kept going. I was like, all right. Okay, what is a tannery?
A tannery is where they make they
Danny
tan
Tanners.
leathers. Yeah, yeah. It's where they make leathers.
Yeah,
you know they put the I don't know. They tan skins of animals.
Okay, tanning. Yeah. So if you wanted like rouge instead of brown,
if you want your fox skin to look like your grandma who got way too into tanning beds.
That's great. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Everyone had one of those grandmas. Cool. I didn't. The small settlement came to be known as Thorne's Mills. Mm-hmm. And then later, Thorne's Hill. Because it's his hill. I mean, he owns all the shit. It's Thorne's.
And it's very roly-poly, the town.
How cool would that be to have a place like you just bought a bunch of shit and then all of a sudden everyone that's living there is like,
yeah.
Oh, Avery, what would your town be called? The Pearson Keys?
God, that's a really good question. If I were to name a town after myself, it would be Avery Town.
Avery Town?
No, I would name it after my son. I'd call it Coal Town.
Ooh, Coal Town.
Yeah, and by the way, you gotta check out Coal Town. It's dope. They have a lot of piano bars.
Surprisingly,
of
not that cold.
Not that
you
cold.
Would think. It's kind of like the Greenland, Iceland thing.
It's nice. It's
nice.
Like kind of like you can wear a nice light sweater, maybe a V-neck, and it's kind of cool out. But it's Coal Town.
Mine would probably be Abu Sacramento.
Yeah, just to make it just to make the pronunciation of your last name that much more difficult for everybody. Where are we going? The town's gonna fail. No one knows how to say it. Even Seattle should be Seattle, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. All right. In 1828,
shout out to Adam Ray if he's listening.
Yeah, is he from Sacramento?
He's from Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A proud Seattleite.
Right.
Seattler. Seattle. Okay.
Seedle Teedle.
Okay.
A
proud Seedle Teedle.
In 1828, Thorne and his brother-in-law, William Pearson. No, I'm just kidding. It's Parson.
Yep.
William Parson petitioned the government for a post office. At that point, I didn't realize this. Once you have a post office, that's whenever it becomes a city or a town.
There's people here. I swear, there's people. We need a post. How would we know what's happening in other towns?
Yeah.
Oh, and we can become Thornhill.
That's when it officially became Thornhill.
So you need a post
Mr.
office.
Parson was the first postmaster.
Okay, so he was it. So look at this. This is a lot of corroboration.
This is a lot of corroboration. All right,
my brother's the cook. Your uncle's the shit. Like wow. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Between the years 1830 and 1848, Thornhill experienced a period of sustained growth. So this is when they're pumping out money. At that point, they're building churches. Back then, you build churches. That meant your town had money.
Yeah.
That's in 1848. That's when 1830 they built the Trinity Church.
Yeah, Trinity. Yeah,
which is,
I know that.
You know all
beautiful
about that.
Building. Yeah.
And then in 1950 it got moved to Brook Street. I know all about your town. This is where this is where I brag to my guests that I know more about their town than they do.
I mean, for sure you do.
Agriculture prospered during this time. You know, this is when farmers and everyone's coming in. The village came to acquire further services, and you know, this is when they're getting everything they need to be a town at this point. Yeah, this is when it's happening.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that made it so successful were that the mills were able to work off this the British government. There was a lot of import, outport, export things that they could work off with the laws.
Right.
However, in 1840,
yikes,
those laws changed.
Oh boy.
Made it really hard. Made it to where a lot of taxation was going on. Couldn't export as easily, and that's when the downturn came.
Of Thornhill. What year was that?
The mid-1840s. Oh, man. Foremost these changes was the British government's repeal on the Corn Laws in 1846, which ended lower import tariffs for the Canadian grains to the British markets. Basically, America took over being able to get the good prices.
Yeah.
Canada got screwed on it.
Interesting.
Well, not Canada, but Canadian mill towns like this.
Which is interesting because Canada was at the time was a dominion of England, so you would think like you're going to get better rates.
When has England ever cared about their dominions? Am I right?
Totally. Everything's coming together.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh, man. The downturn was so serious. Was the oversupply so serious was the oversupply of stuff that they had that Benjamin Thornton was left with large amounts of wheat with no market. As a result, he went bankrupt. In 1848, the distressed Mr. Thorne committed suicide.
Over carbs.
Now this is where it gets interesting. He committed suicide right after he sold his assets and satisfied all his creditors.
He's a good dude.
He got murdered. He totally got murdered, right?
Murdered.
Of course he did. He built that whole place with corruption, like we were saying.
Yeah.
And then he totally built it by burning the place down. But then that whole time he's building up debt.
Wow.
They realize they're not getting his money, their money back. They're like, we're gonna kill you, and then we're gonna just take your dead fingers and sign stuff over. Or maybe he killed himself. I don't know. I think he got murdered though.
I'm Canadian. I go, oh, what a good dude.
Oh,
Settled his debts and then murdered himself. That's a real Canadian thing to do. I'm gonna off myself, Derry, but first I'm gonna settle my debts and make sure that everything's copacetic, Derry.
You know what?
And you're like, I'm American. I bet that he's a real fucking. I bet he got murdered by the mob and then they killed him and they took his dead cold fingers. You don't need to like take his. Or maybe they held him at gunpoint.
It is ridiculous. Yeah. I thought they had to take his fingers to sign the
why
thing.
Would you think
they could have just signed it.
There's no DNA back then. There weren't like. There's no. We swear it was his fingers on the pad. These guys are idiots.
You know what? I take it back. He totally killed himself.
Yeah, he's just a polite Canadian.
What am I thinking?
I don't know.
The decline in the milling continued forever. It was a long economic downturn for a while.
Yeah.
Soil fertility got infertile. I don't know. Things like that happened. Floods came. It was a real apocalypse for a while.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
But then, by the end of the 19th century, Thornhill became primarily a service center for surrounding farmlands. So it became just like a place he kind of went back and forth through. However, now we're coming. This is what I really love about hometowns is that a town or a city can actually have like an arc of a story, just like a human's life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It had, it got born. It had a nice little upturn, and then went down the shitter.
Thornhill was hot when he was a teenager in high school.
It was.
Thornhill got a lot of attention.
Had a really bad time in the 20s.
And then he got into drugs.
Exactly. Yeah, because he got too much money too young, right?
That's what happens in Hollywood. You get too much. Yeah, that's why I'm glad I'm not famous. Because I would be really. I wouldn't
who
want
wants
that.
to be famous?
I don't want to have that kind of attention, and then I may not have the potential growth. And it's really only about hope in this life.
Exactly. I want to live in the maybe forever.
I want to live in. Oh gosh, darn it! I hope this happens. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So in 1896, a new mode of transportation. Metropolitan Radial Railway. No. Radial Railway.
Radial. Metropolitan MRR.
Oh, is that,
so now it's called the TTC. Yeah.
Man, I love it when people know shit.
I mean, I literally just put the acronym together, but yes, for sure.
It's the bus-like cabins on rails is what it was.
Cool.
They reached Thornhill, and for the first time it was possible to live in Thornhill and work in Toronto.
And commute.
Yep.
And thus traffic was born.
Thus, another wave and a different way of immigration into Thornhill. That is the real... Hey, can I ask, what does swan song mean?
Swan song?
Yeah.
It's like the meaning, it's like the last.
Okay, so I've been using it wrong. I was about to say that was the real swan song of the...
No, the swan song was when England started buying up the wheat from America.
Yeah, that was the swan song of him.
That was his swan song.
What would be the main song of...
The musical.
Is there a song? Oh, okay. Oh, the score.
The score.
How about that?
Okay.
That's the main score of Thornhill would be the
rebirth.
What?
The rebirth of Thornhill was
when
they got
I'm
the
saying
train.
a theme that goes along along in Thornhill is that
The A plot.
A plot. Yeah. The A plot of Thornhill is that there's always a way people are coming from everywhere to Thornhill. And we're going to get to that later. Again, you know what I'm talking about.
I think so.
Yeah, so by this point, the train's there. This allowed yet another influx of communities of all kinds to flock to the neighborhood that would grow to be the most diverse city in all of Canada. It is home to a significant number of Jewish, Avery.
I'm Jewish.
Chinese, Korean, Iranian, Filipino, West Asian, Black, and Italian people. These are all people that reside in...
Very multicultural.
It seems like, I mean, technically a lot of places said Toronto itself was the most diverse place, but Thornhill in particular is a big reason. Yeah.
I mean, it is a point of pride, I will say, in Canada to be a multicultural city. It is a point of strength to have diversity and to celebrate diversity, not to...
Especially in these times. My God, what are we doing down here?
I mean, it's always sort of been like that in Canada, where you'd go like, you know, America was a melting pot where everyone comes and becomes an American, and Canada was like this rich fabric of, not to say the melting pot isn't, you know, a beautiful thing, but like, you're from somewhere. That's an interesting story. It's like why your podcast is cool, because you're learning about all these comics and where they come from and why they are the way they're, you know, like why I'm such a nice person, why Lenoche is such a sack of shit. It's because he's from Florida, but we know that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Why you gotta say that, bro? What do you? Come on, bro.
He knows why. Do you know that he has at his when he does shows, he has that dick rag? Have you heard of this thing?
Yeah.
He does a joke.
It's a great merch item, I gotta say.
Oh man, it's a rag that says dick on it, and he has a joke about it. He sells them. He's a killer.
It's great.
I need that. I don't have that for. I have a Canadian cloak. It's a parka that I carried from down to town. Okay, go ahead.
So that's pretty much the history of Thornhill. I mean,
it's amazing.
That is,
and that got us to like, you know, now we could further develop and get built strip malls and have Chinese food and order from Oriental Court.
Talking about food, it's great. Like they really, like you said, Thornhill really does celebrate and have pride in how diverse it is, and they like to have the authentic version of all of all the foods. One of the places I found was a place that opened that actually had a lot of. You're a vegetarian, right?
I am vegetarian.
Vegan?
Vegetarian.
You say vegan in that song; it's very confusing. And
I do.
And then you say you eat mac and cheese, but at least.
But that's the irony of it.
It's great.
Yeah. I go. The song basically, which is going to be coming out. Oh, I was going to actually talk about it. Was I'm Not Equipped to Be a Father. Going to be coming out on Funny or Die in early November. I have Chris.
It's a great song.
Chris Redd, Tiffany Haddish in the music video, Adam Ray, Josh Wolf, Josh Adam Myers, Scott Durwood, and myself, my wife, my mother, my son. I literally brought in everyone I know, and we're going to release this really funny music video. And it goes, I'm not equipped to be a father. I can barely take care of myself. I'm vegan and I'm fat. How the heck did I manage that? I eat mac and cheese at 4 a.m. It's like it's just great fun.
So good. Yeah. I love it.
Thanks, man. And on the show, I will say, just to pat my own back, I always
on the 88 show.
There was a duo of backup singers, Dulce Sloan and Nicole Thurman.
Now with the Daily Show.
Nicole Thurman now with the opposition.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the 88 show grows, and it gives careers to people for everyone except for its host. Okay.
It's always
coming. Yeah.
So authentic food. There's actually a place. Let me pull this up. There's a place in Thornhill right now, getting some shit from some people and like not getting shit from other people. That people love it. It's what's it called?
It's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant that serves authentic sushi. Japanese sushi, but all the food is still alive when you eat it.
Oh no!
Right?
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like they cut a tentacle off an octopus and give it to you. Octopus are like, they have like souls, don't they?
I really don't like that.
You don't? Yeah.
That's that. Do you want? I mean, I don't want to talk. I mean, the reason I'm a vegetarian is because I saw a video like that.
Oh, really?
And I stopped eating meat.
You're a vegetarian, not as much for health reasons, but more for animal reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I also have a lot of heart disease in my family, so cutting out meat is a smart idea. But I can't express how disgusting that is. I am one of the people that has opposed that. That is a mark of shame. That is a real mark of shame in my hometown. I'm sorry about that.
You don't have to apologize.
I
for
will.
Your hometown.
I'm Canadian.
That's not your hometown.
And that's
that's not like
it's
that's
un-Canadian to cut an animal in half and serve you the the flummoxing arm on your plate. That's not a kind thing to do.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I just
gross.
wanted you to know. You know what?
Sorry.
You know what it is?
It's
Is Thornhill had so many great things. I wanted to give you one bad thing to give you.
That's good. We do have other good things, though. There's good people that came out of Thornhill.
Oh, there's great people. We'll get to that.
Oh, we're not there yet. Okay.
Thornhill. I'm gonna.
What is the name of that restaurant? Do you know?
Let me go back.
Okay, we're gonna look it up, and I'm gonna. That's terrible.
We're gonna look at. I'm looking it up right now. Chefs are serving. One bite. Why wouldn't they put it in the title? Chef Alan Kang.
He's not even Asian. Some white dude.
I know, right? Yeah.
You're not even authentic, dude. You're a putz.
Gano is the name of the restaurant.
Gonorrhea. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. All right, so I found this blog, and this is what we're gonna.
Please don't go to Gano.
This is what we're gonna do right now.
Okay.
This is a blog called 10 Signs You Live in Thornhill.
Oh my God, that's great.
So we're gonna.
Can you turn it a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through them all.
Yeah, Center Street Deli.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I want to talk about Center Street Deli.
We can talk about Center Street Deli all day.
So we're gonna go through them all.
Who wrote this blog?
This is a blog by
Blog Tio.
It was all the way down at the bottom. I remember by Hector Vasquez. No, that was the picture.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Oh, Jacqueline Skarbacki. Jacqueline
Skrbacki. Okay, well, shout out to Jacqueline Skrbacki.
Yeah, hell yeah! Thank you so much for this. I want to say each list thing, and I want you to tell me if that applied to you or applies to you still. Or
I'm
whatever.
very excited for this. This is great.
Yeah. So number 1, you absolutely loathe the Promenade Mall, but constantly find yourself there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Promenade Mall it's got everything. And you just go in there and you're like, something's different. My world has changed. There's like something in the air, and it's not a magical thing. It's like, I know I didn't do something right in life that led me to this moment, and here I am at the Promenade Mall. Because the Promenade, it souns like such a nice, lovely place. Like the 3rd Street Promenade and Santa Monica. That's a great promenade. It's like an open place. This has like, I don't even remember the name. Like everyone's got Gap, but like Claire's Accessories. They probably have like 10 Claire's Accessories in this one place. And the food court's it's a lot of Manchu Walk. Nothing against the good people of Manchu Walk, proud sponsors of this podcast.
As nice and polite as Canadians are, I loved going to the Yelp reviews for the Promenade Mall.
Sure.
I'm going to read a 1-star review here.
1 star.
1-star review.
Okay.
I'm a regular at any mall. This is one of my rare visits to the Promenade, and I cannot believe how different the people and the staff are here. I prefer to hang out in Woodbridge or Vaughan Mills. Vaughan Mills is one of my faves.
They're definitely Italian.
I cannot believe how a few minutes of driving can change people.
Oh my God.
Everyone here comes off so snobby and rude.
Yeah.
Who shops here?
Yeah.
No eye contact, no hellos, no excuse me's.
Yeah.
It's like they want you to feel invisible.
Yeah.
No common courtesy whatsoever. I was trying on a $200 shoes, and you'd think someone would greet you or come up after you so they could help. A size, perhaps.
No.
All capital. Nothing.
Very un-Canadian mall.
Mm-hmm. I'm very. Hold on. We're almost to the end. I'm
okay.
very disappointed with all of this and the people in it.
Yeah. ...
Few lines there. Although I must say the staffs at David T's are very pleasant.
David's Tees?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a crazy person because they're going to
everyone on Yelp is a crazy person.
T-shirt
Avery.
store. This is a person that's like finding value in a T-shirt store.
That wasn't the only one. Sorry, there was a lot of them. That was just my favorite.
You know what it is? It's just such a weird place. The movie theater. I mean, last time I was there, is a Cineplex Odeon. It's like one of those like old school, but it wasn't like it didn't have. It was like a new cinema, so it wasn't like built back in the 50s. It was built in like the 80s or something, so it just like lacked class, and the chairs are uncomfortable. And
that's
like,
how all malls
always
are.
Sticky floors.
That is okay.
It's just
that
a mall.
is the swan song of every mall. At the end, they lose all their good shops. People stop coming.
Well, the swan song indicates that something's going to end.
Yeah, the end of all malls.
End of all malls
is when they get depressing because they never really updated themselves.
Yeah,
I think I used swan song correctly there. I think I finally
2 points for swan song.
Okay. Number 2, your weekend brunch debate consists of picking between What a Bagel or Bagel World. Either way, you're going to spend the first 10 minutes upon arrival saying hello to everyone you know.
Yeah, What a Bagel,
right?
Bagel World. I was into Center Street Deli, and What a Bagel, Bagel World, they're really good. Do they have pictures of them there or no?
No.
It's
They have
okay.
links.
So those are good bagel spots. Here's the thing. Toronto bagels are like big. When they're fresh, they're delicious. It's kind of like a really crispy outside, and inside's like super doughy. Got to get them fresh. And then there's Montreal bagels, and there's a big debate about which is the kind of best bagel. Now, I'm from Toronto, so I'm going to say Toronto bagels. Truth of the matter is, and my friends in Montreal are going to, I'm never going to hear the end of this. I think Montreal bagels are a little better.
Controversial. I wish I had a button with a noise on it.
Yeah, because they're sweeter. There's something about the way they're cooked. They're like they're less doughy. They're not as heavy. They're just kind of like a ring rather than a big bun sort of thing. But
people can't see this, but actually a French hat, painter's hat, just grew over his Toronto Maple Leafs hat.
I lived in Montreal for 3 years. I went to college.
Okay.
That's how they own. That's the thing about Montreal. We don't just say yes; we say it 5 times. Yeah. So what a bagel! I would say I would be more of a Center Street deli person. So I'm going to pass on number 2.
Oh, okay. So Center Street has bagels as well.
Center Street deli's got everything.
We're going to get to Center Street in a second because I'm very excited about it.
Okay, that's great.
All right, number 3. You have to explain where you live by saying just keep driving north of Bathurst Street.
Bathurst. So wait, say that again. It's
just keep driving north on Bathurst Street.
Right. This is equivalent to New Jersey, where you're like, oh, you're from New Jersey. What exit? It's that kind of thing. So Bathurst is this long strip. So you're like, where do you live? I live 10 minutes up Bathurst. So I have 20 minutes up Bathurst. And you kind of like get a sense of where it is. This is before, like, this is probably written, like, Waze will tell you.
Yeah.
But you definitely do get that sense of, like, location is based on duration.
Okay.
So I live 20 minutes away from you, down Bathurst. Bathurst. I feel like I've talked bad about the 2 bagel spots in Thornhill, and I want to take it back, and I want to say they're good bagel spots, because I have been there a lot. It's just that Center Street Deli is so close to my heart, and I think anyone from Thornhil would understand why I said that.
Okay.
And we're going to continue.
Number 4, you brag about knowing someone who knows Hayden Christensen, Milos Raonic, or Andrew Wiggins. You went to school with Hayden Christensen.
You brag, or what is it? You
brag about knowing them or knowing of no. I feel like this isn't you because, you're better than all of them, right?
Well, so Hayden Christensen's my oldest friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I was looking, I saw that he went to your high school. Right?
Hayden went to Hayden and I went to
about the same age.
Baythorn Arts Elementary School together.
Oh, wow. You went to elementary.
Yeah, we went to high school together. We're still very close friends to this day. And
is he out here?
He is out in LA.
Right on.
And he has a place up in Toronto as well. And that is true.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of people do that. But the reality is you're talking to the person who actually can say that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm literally,
this doesn't apply to you. You're not going to brag about knowing your friend.
Yeah, this is like, people will be like, yeah, I went to high school with Hayden. Oh, Unionville High School, that's the Hayden school. Or like Baythorn, oh yeah, Hayden went there.
Yeah.
But guess what? So did Avery Pearson.
Exactly.
He just
Avery Pearson is This isn't updated. It should say Avery on here.
And Milos Raonic is a top tennis player, and Andrew Wiggins is a top basketball player, and there's a few others.
Wiggins, yeah, he plays in the NBA. He got the Rookie of the Year.
Mitch Marner is a young hockey player. He went from playing
a lot of hockey.
That's a whole other podcast. But like, he went from playing hockey in Thornhill to playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, which Hayden will say that is his dream of that's everyone's dream. Is
I can imagine
to be a kid playing in Thornhill and then get to play for the Leafs.
That's actually luck. I always think about that for athletes because like getting into the NHL or NBA or anything, that's not luck. That's a lot of hard work and a lot of determination. But to get to play for your hometown team, not even hometown, but like the team that is like everyone loves. Oh my god, dude!
When I get jerseys, I get my own name on it. I don't.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I think it's the best.
It's awesome.
I have one I have a Sundin jersey and a Gilmore jersey because they were staples of my childhood. But all my other jerseys are Pearsons.
Can I just say the Maple Leafs? Some of the best unis in all the sports.
Thank you, and I agree with you. God. And I'll say this about Montreal: we have better jerseys, so eat that.
Dude, Montreal's jerseys aren't great.
You look like lumberjacks.
Exactly,
I'm
they're
not
great.
going to be able to play Montreal.
I don't like Montreal.
Again. There's a big rivalry. between
not Montreal the city. I don't like the Canadians.
The Habs, yeah.
Not the Canadians, the people. I don't like the Montreal.
We're finally better than the Habs for the first time in like a very long time, in a sad amount.
Can I just say, as a hockey fan,
Were you a fan of? You a Kings fan?
Oh, dude, come on! I'm a Predators fan, man. I was one of the very first Nashville Predators.
That's
fans,
cool.
And to be able to take PK Subban from Montreal was just glorious.
Yeah, but you gave up Shea Weber.
Shea Weber. I know this is turning into a sports podcast, but can I just say, Shea Weber is probably a way better defenseman. But PK is a better defenseman for the Predators. We have good defense already. We needed a good scoring defenseman.
And he's fantastic. Okay, cool.
Okay.
You're going to have to cut that out because no one's going to want to listen to that.
Number 5, you live with your parents. Your friend back in the day.
Yeah, my friend, Adam Risbridger. Well, I'm going to throw him under the bus. I mean, he did for a while. For a while. Did. And I left home when I was 18 and I moved back with my parents and I was like in my late 20s just to like regroup for a year. But yes, there is a lot of that.
It's close to Toronto, right? Which is a huge city.
So why pay rent? Live in your basement.
I don't understand why more people here, like anyone who's from like fucking Bakersfield or somewhere outside of LA, fucking live there and drive in. Why wouldn't you not pay rent?
Yeah, for sure. Milk off your parents. Milk off the teat of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number 6, you thank heavens that Center Street Deli, one of the city's best delis, is in your neck of the woods.
It wasn't my neck of the woods. Mm-hmm. It was right around the corner. It was a 4-minute drive away from my house and a 10-minute bike. And they have incredible matzo ball soup, and they got smoked meat, and they have really good latkes, and they have good
Can I just
knishes.
say, I don't understand how anti-Semitism can exist when Jewish delis are a thing. I think
that's a whole other
If there would have been a Cantor's in Germany in 1939, nothing would have happened.
Well, there would have been a lot of indigestion.
Yeah. Oh man, it was so good.
The Jews are making my stomach turn. Kill them all.
There's 5-star reviews all across the board for Center Street.
Center Street Deli is an incredible establishment. I want to give a big shout out. And that was a deli that started in Montreal and moved.
Yeah. I didn't realize. This is something
west.
I found out. Montreal smoked meats is a specific kind of meat smoking from Montreal.
Yeah, it's basically pastrami, but I guess the way they smoke the meat or whatever. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm into that.
Yeah, I'm going to read a 5-star review for Central State. I like my pastrami sandwiches like I like my men, old-fashioned, spicy, and with lean meats.
Gross.
Yeah, so gross. Center Street is a Montreal-style deli and specializes in Montreal-style smoked meats. I didn't even know there were... All right, I'm going to read this review.
Yeah.
I hope this was written by a Jewish person because if it wasn't, the tone of it is so much weirder.
I'll be able to tell.
I didn't even know there were Jews.
First of all, what's the first name of the person? Does it say?
Kathleen M.
No, that's not a Jewish name.
Okay, then this is weird. I didn't even know there were Jews in Montreal. Since there are people who have historically wandered the desert, I thought Toronto was the farthest north.
I mean, this is definitely not a Jewish person. I didn't even know they had... That's a Jewish name. It's like, oh, I didn't know they had Jews in Montreal. Oh, what a weird thing. I didn't even know that the Jews moved there. I once knew a Jewish person back when I was in school. We called him Hornhead because we thought he had horns coming out of his head. We also called him Schnoz. You know why? You know about those Jews. What Jews? Why are Jews' nose so big? Because air is free. I don't usually say it. I only talk about that amongst the girls with my cards and... Yeah.
Insane. I thought Toronto
definitely not
was
a Jewish person. Kathleen, number one teller. That's like my name is. What's your name? Christian. What's your last name? Bajewski. No, it's not. It's.
If she's not though, here's the funny thing. She has a whole food blog ranking Jewish delis across the country.
That's just cultural appropriation.
It's right so weird. Yeah. And she says DZ Atkins in San Diego is number 1. So now I need to go try it. Center Street.
There's no way that a deli in San Diego
that's what I was thinking.
Is the best deli in the world.
So maybe that's the number one teller
Kathy
that she is
M
not.
Yeah, she's no idea what you got to go to like it's like
number
you have
5
to go to
is
Jewish
Carnegie
cities
Deli.
like Toronto, Montreal, Chicago, L.A.,
New York.
Yeah. You know that's where you'll find good Jewish. Like San Diego.
It's so weird. That's number 1.
Yeah,
that's like her brother owns that one.
Oh, you know the best
her
pizza?
Brother Tad.
Kansas, Missouri. Really? Really? Okay.
It got me. I want to go to Center Street so bad now because that is probably my favorite kind of food.
Center Street's fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's continue. 10 signs. What number were we at? Cabbing and Ubering downtown at night is one of your biggest ongoing expenses.
For sure.
Whatever, that's anywhere.
I mean, it's a
You're
pretty
not
far.
special Thornhill lady.
No, but it is. It's a schlep. It's a schlep city. You know, like you're definitely going to be your commute's going to be at least 45 minutes to over an hour coming down from work. That's why people take the Go. Shout out to Go.
Mm-hmm. You're still mourning the loss of Belly Buster, even though you probably never visited. What's that?
Belly Buster?
Mm-hmm. You don't know?
No.
All right. Well, then that's.
Belly, I mean, it rings a bell. There's probably a
Belly
lot of people
Buster set to expire. Does that look? It's like sub shop.
Oh, I've never even heard of it.
Whatever.
So no, I'm not from
fuck
Thornhill
Belly
then.
Buster.
Yeah.
You laugh at the thought of going to the Tickled Toad, but no, you'll probably end up there on a night out.
What? Let me see Tickled Toad.
Tickled Toad is let's see what it looks like. I thought maybe
it's
it
a
was
bar, right?
Yeah, it's a bar.
Yeah, I haven't seen a picture of this in a while.
That place? Do you know what that place is?
Yeah, the Tickled Toad.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fun place.
You know what's funny is that when I grew up in Thornhill, I left when I was 18, so I wasn't legal to like go out to drinks and stuff.
Oh, right.
So I moved to Montreal, so I never really got the real
that.
downtown Toronto Thornhill feel, or Toronto for that matter. Because I was just too young.
Oh, it's funny you say that because number 10 is you just tell people you're from Toronto. That's number 10.
I tell people I'm from Toronto if I'm in a place that wouldn't know.
Of course you do.
That,
Why would I tell people I'm from Nashville? I'm from an hour outside Nashville.
People don't know where Canada is.
Yeah, exactly.
Here. Like they're not going to know Toronto. A lot of people don't know where Toronto is, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm a very proud Thornhillian. I learned a lot of what I know in terms of like the arts and my life because of growing up in a suburb of Toronto, and so I'm very proud of that. And it is full of like really talented people came out of it because it's just like a good place.
Yeah,
positive, nice,
it
focus on education,
like
social welfare. People cared about each other. It wasn't like there was like a main street parade that everyone had to go to. It wasn't like that, but it was just a really good place to grow, and it was safe and fun, and people were nice to you. And I would say, you know, it's a very very cool. The schooling system was so good that in high school I had a choice between 4 high schools which I could have gone to, which were all excellent, and you would go to it based on, well, you know, I'm kind of more into athletics or I'm more into this, and it was all free, and it was all.
Wait, your high school was free?
Yeah.
What?
What are you talking about? Is yours not?
Well, yeah, mine was. I went to a public school, but like, all right, just
I went to an art school.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just to put this in my surprise and perspective, Avery went to a high school. What was it called?
Unionville High School. It was
for the arts.
Yeah, it's Arts York. Unionville.
York.
It's called Unionville High School Arts York program.
I looked it up. This is like a nice, like the prestigious art school. That same type of school would have cost like $30,000 a year. In the States.
It was you would give like $500 just for like incidentals every year. That'd be something like that. But the school that I went to, are we in high school section right now? Or
let's go. Let's start
okay.
it. Let's start in elementary, and then we'll get back.
Elementary. So I went to Baythorn Arts Elementary, another school that focused on the arts that wasn't directly in my school area, so I had to try out to get in. And we did all 5 arts. We did dance and vocal and instrumental and like visual arts and drama. And so you had to specialize in all of it, and I went to the school, and we would like every day I would be like just engulfed in the arts, and it was just the most amazing experience. And this is when I was like 12 to 15 years old, which is where I met Hayden. Actually, no, I met Hayden years ago, but like it's where I made a lot of good friends and good people that I continue to stay in touch with on Facebook and stuff like that. I was like the lead. I ended up being the lead in the school play at the end, and we would do like our band like won all the awards. We were like stacked. I learned the alto sax there, so I played that.
You played the sax? I didn't know that.
Sax, flute, guitar, piano.
Flute, such a funny word.
I want to pick it back up because it's like there's something just amazing.
Who plays the flute? That's why you got to
Avery
pick
Pearson.
it up. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why I switched to alto sax
Yeah.
because I was like, it's a little cooler. So Baythorn Arts Elementary, had an incredible time there, learned a lot, and it was just an incredible supportive environment, and I was very lucky to be there.
Yeah, dude. I looked up these schools, and Unionville High School, like,
Yeah.
It's a great art school. I sent you a reel that they put together, and it's like a goddamn like Olympics, like sizzle reel.
So I went to Unionville High School Arts York program, and I went during the golden era. I think things have changed a little bit now. I'm not exactly sure how it's set up, but when I went, it was like you had to get in. I got in. And I met my best friends now, guys like one of my Adam Risbridger, who I was talking about before, but Hayden, we kept hanging out there. Byron Laviolette is a buddy of mine who has a PhD in immersive theater and clown. So he's a doctor of clowning.
What's his name?
Byron Laviolette.
Amazing.
So he's a great dude. He actually
no relation to Peter Laviolette.
None at all.
Okay.
Actually, maybe. I'm not sure. But
dude, you gotta ask him.
I will.
And tell him thank you from a Nashville Predator fan.
I feel like he's told me before, but I forgot. So Byron runs a show called Morrow and Jasper at Toronto. It's really popular, and it's a clown show. It's a duo, female duo, and they're incredible. And there's a guy, Brendan Gall, who became like a sort of a Toronto legend in terms of being an actor, and now he's writes on Blind Spot and another show he just jumped on here, so he's down here. A lot of people like went on just to do really cool things after Unionville High School.
Wait a second, hold the phone. Are you saying if you put money into education that successful people will come out of it?
Don't even get me started.
Oh man, I can't believe that.
That's in my opinion the way that it's run here. It must be to suppress a large portion of the population.
Absolutely. Anytime anyone brings up a conspiracy about that, I'm like, yeah obviously.
It's to keep the divide. But I don't want to divide between America and Canada. My perceptions.
Divide away.
I don't want to. I just want to talk about how great the environment was that I grew up in. It was every morning I would go to class for an hour and a half. And then my homeroom was a drama class. So that's how I'd start the day, is learning.
Dude.
In grade 9, we covered everything to do with theater, culminating, like anything from mask to movement work to comedy, culminating in performing.
You started learning comedy in school by teachers. That's amazing.
Dude, when I was in so we culminated in doing Merton Cathedral. And grade 10 was all comedy. It's a comedy year. So we did Commedia dell'arte. We did mask. So that's mask work, Italian mask work. We did stand-up, improv. We competed against improv teams in one area meets.
Did you do forensics? Did they have forensics up there? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
We had forensics. That was like an extracurricular we had to do. It's basically like that improv competitions.
Yeah. No, I mean this place we did a whole half year on Waiting for Godot. So we all took a role and did scene studies on it and learned really how to do comedy when I was 16.
When you're a kid.
Yeah.
Which
grade 11.
Imprint in the back of your head.
Grade 11 we spent doing Shakespeare. So the entire year you're focusing on your characters and Shakespeare and learning how to dissect the text. Grade 12 you create your own work and you work in a group and you rotate between one person's director, one person's tech, one person's actor, two people actor, and then there's another, I forget what the other job was. And you'd rotate as a team. And then the final year you would create your own plays. At the time, there was something called OAC. It was a final year of high school, and they've since gotten rid of it. But you would create your own work, and that would lead you into trying to make it. And
you enjoyed your whole time in school.
God.
That's what's crazy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
tell me something about this. Since you enjoy, so you get to school and you're actually enjoying your time there.
Yeah.
What do you do after? It's because a lot of people, we hate school. We do something. We get in trouble after by doing dumb shit. What was the dumb shit that you did?
Me, I mean, I'm really I'm such a weird comic because I was pretty tame and I had good parents and nothing really ever happened to me. But
or fun shit.
I mean, we would I don't know, we'd smoke weed and joke around and riff and me and so part of the 88 show, the reason that it happened is when I was a kid with all these guys I met in high school, we'd smoke a joint, stand in a circle, and then we would just riff, rap and comedy and. We would just go around the circle and you would just try to one-up each other. But it was very collaborative and we would just die laughing. And I really feel like I was, I'm nervous for my son because of how great of a learning environment I have. I even tell my wife who had enriched arts, growing up, but she hears about my stories and it's just
awesome.
I was just very lucky. I got in there at the right time when the teachers were incredible. Jeanette and Rob and Jeff, and they were just, Jeff Young, Rob Cook, Jeanette Peary, and they were
Young,
incredible.
not Yonge.
Yeah, Jeff Young, not Jeff Yonge. And just an incredible group of people that I'm still in touch with. We do reunions every year, like when everyone is in town.
I couldn't imagine
for Christmas.
enjoying the people back home that much to have.
Oh, but they're all brilliant. But they were like,
Yeah.
it was a feeder school, so everyone would come to the school because they were passionate about what they did. And this is just the drama department. I mean, there'd be a group of dancers who were like these incredible dancers, and then there was like the music. Like these guys are like still performing these days, and our like talent shows or musicals were like real productions. Like I got into college, and no knock on my college, but I learned more in high school than I ever did in my BFA. And that's no knock on where I went, which is Concordia in Montreal. It's a great school, but I had already done it.
Yeah.
This was just because my dad wanted me to go to college, so I went to college.
Hell yeah, dude. I
was very lucky. So that's why I just want to emphasize it. If you're out there and you're sort of like trying to figure out, you know, socialized education a good thing or a bad thing, it's good if you want a smart population and an intelligent group of people that are all get an equal chance, and it's bad if you don't.
Yeah.
So you can pick which one you'd like.
Or put more money. We have socialized education. Put more money into it. It's
Right.
crazy. Wait, so you're telling me if you guys put that much money into your schools, did you guys not get bombed all the time by not having all that money in your military? Was it a war zone all the time in Canada?
But but the thing is, they're different. Like, they're just different countries. Canada can operate. A lot of what Canada can operate is because of its relationships with America. And it's they're a symbiotic relationship. They rely on each other, and obviously America is a mega power, and they have different challenges than Canada does. And they have a emphasis on the military, and that's cool. And that's, for a lot of people, that's great. Wasn't great for me. My one of my best friends growing up was like our neighbor. He's kind of like our cousin, and he just finished 15 years in the Canadian military, and he's just retired from that. So we're very proud of him, Zach Kalish, and so he's just wrapped up there, and just he went to Afghanistan, and it's just a different environment, like being America versus being Canada in a global perspective. However, there's been, I mean, I don't want to get into the Trump stuff, but like whatever. Yeah.
My wife's a teacher, so anytime I can say, like, just fucking put more money in education. Everyone will be better at things.
They don't want
you
to.
Won't like.
They want to privatize.
You won't think the shit on Facebook is real.
Do you know I went to a nursery school to check out for my kid for like 2 years from now because there's going to be a waiting list, and it costs. It's a really good one, but it's.
That's why I'm so happy we moved here whenever the kid was going into kindergarten, so we didn't have to deal with like all the nursery stuff.
$15,000 a year.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
And then we're lucky we live in a really good charter school area, so we'll be okay. But
yeah.
Anyways, more about Thornhill.
Can I just show you? This is my art club. And,
cool.
Nice. In my high school.
There's a bunch of people. This looks exactly like what my school would look like. The same kind of people, and
the earth without art is just
And I will say, when I was growing up, there was different arts high schools. It wasn't just mine. There was one within.
This wasn't an art high school.
20 miles of each. Okay.
No.
There's one in like Toronto. That's just a high school.
Yeah.
Okay. But there was like other high schools that had arts programs that were also amazing. Togo School for the Arts, and there was Earl Haig, and there's some cool stuff.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
So you're going to school there. You get a great education.
Oh, my arts high school was in Unionville, which was about a 15-minute drive from Thornhill.
Oh, okay. So I thought Unionville was just the name of it.
No, it was a town.
Dang,
so
I wish I would have looked
Thornhill.
up some Unionville facts.
Unionville is in Markham, the home of Steven Stamkos, who's a big hockey player.
Everyone has a big hockey player.
It's also very multicultural. A lot of Asian descent goes there. It was a nice town. Beautiful, lovely, good people. That's where I went to high school.
So nothing crazy happened in high school. You guys were just like the stoner kids, just hanging out.
Dude, we made plays. We riffed.
Hell yeah,
we did exactly what I'm doing right now.
That would be the song of Avery, right? Just riffing, man. Just
riffing.
It.
Yeah, we just joke around, and we didn't want to get into any trouble. I had a few friends that they wanted to fight people, and I was like, I'm just not going to hang out with these people anymore. I was like, I don't get it. And I think that's because they didn't have not even a focus, but like a real interest in high school to do something cool.
Exactly. That's why I always feel like
one's in the military.
Schools should have like so many different focus. It's a lot of people get like turned off by like the idea of like having an art school. Blah, what are they going to use? No, it's like having different focuses, and a lot of those are going to be art. To fucking focus all that.
If you don't want to put money into the arts at that time when you have to teach potential artists how to do what they do, you can turn off iTunes, you can turn off the television, you can turn off the radio, you can take down any colors off the wall, and any kind of influence where there's anything except for like a gray box, you say get rid of books. You can just sit in a room, and that can help your maybe you have a great society of like equations and. Well, I guess that's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can cut the arts all you want, but
you're gonna
that's
have
my
a
only
lot
rule.
of angry kids that are just like got this energy, and that's why like there was nothing to do in my hometown. That's why everyone did meth. This is like everyone just like went out and just
everyone's bored out of their mind.
That's what the bad kids did. The good kids like me, we got a 12-pack of beer and we drove drunk on back roads. That was the other. That was what the good kids did.
Yeah,
and
I mean, if you're cutting the arts. And you're like senator, if you're like someone who's in power like that, my only thing is then however you cut, that has to be affected to your kids directly. When you make decisions, it should be affected. Like so, your kids can no longer learn music. Period. You know, if you want to take out acting, then your kids can't watch television.
Yeah.
If you like just things like that, I think it would put things in a lot of perspective and it becomes an empathetical thing. Anyways, this is not funny. This is like serious.
It's fine. We don't have to be funny the whole time. It's all right.
All right.
So yeah, all right. So tell me about how like and we're in the part where it's just all about you. We're learning about you now.
Great.
Like you know, you're in your hometown, and when it's time to go to college. You were saying you were thinking about you didn't want to go to college, but your dad wanted.
I didn't really want to go to college.
At this point, are you a full like? Are you like really? Because you went to art school, but and it sounded like you did a lot of performing. But is this when you were really into music as well? Are you an actual musician at this time, or is that something that came later?
I mean, I've played the piano since I was 7, guitar since I was 15, and then the other instruments in high school. And
what did you want to do at this point? Your senior year?
I was always going to be an actor. So when I was 15, there was a moment where I was like having an identity crisis, and I didn't really know if I wanted to be like, you know, I guess sort of lead a normal life or get into the arts more. When there was like a few months, so I actually transferred out of my high school like for the next year to another school, which was sort of more of a local school, and I could have had, you know, maybe been a lawyer or whatever. And I was just having self-doubt. And at the end of the year, we did this play called Murder in the Cathedral. I was 15 years old, and we're about to do the show, and everyone's standing in a circle. We're all dressed up in our attire. We close our eyes, and they dim the lights, and then you like. This is such a silly story, but
it's not. We
passed when everyone holds hands, and you pass a pulse around. You like squeeze each other's hand, and it goes around the circle. And then we did that for a long time, and it really was quite a moving experience. And then the lights, then they said, "Open your eyes," and like we were on stage, and the lights were on, and like all my friends were dressed up, and I like really felt at home, and I knew I was going to be a performer. And I walked out kind of like dazed, and I saw my mom, and I was as a 15-year-old kid, and she goes, "Hey, Avery," and she'd help me like, you know, do the transfer papers and all that. And I go, "I'm going to be an actor. That's it. That's what's going on." And she's like, "But we did all the transfer stuff." And my mom's a nice person in the world, but she's like, "But we did all the transfer stuff." I go, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be at Unionville for the next 4 years. I'm going to be here for class. I'm not going to that other class. I don't really care. I mean, if I don't get a high school education, I don't care. I'm going to this school, and I'm going to be an actor, and that's it. I'm sorry, like whatever we need to do, but I'll be at this school." So I knew from a young age I wanted to be an actor. I was also surrounded by it. Hayden was doing well, and I like saw a little taste of that. And then I just like kept pursuing it and just wanted to get better. And so then when I was 18, I'd already had like a pretty serious education, and it was just more about development. And so my dad was like, "You gotta go to college and like just get older and like, you know, don't be like, have like, I don't know if I would have had young success or whatever," but he just wanted me to like sort of be able to be on my own 2 feet. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I got into a great program in Montreal, Concordia University, got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Acting. And my buddies from camp in Montreal were there. I moved in with them. I had a great 3 years, so much fun. Lived in Montreal. By the way, if you guys are just looking for somewhere fun to live, like Montreal, Toronto as well, but like Montreal is like, not in the winter, it's pretty cold, but like Summer in the Montreal is an amazing place to be. Go to Just for Laughs Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did that in Montreal, and it was fun. And I realized I needed some like real professional training. So I moved to New York and did a 2-year degree in a neighborhood playhouse and learned Meisner technique for 2 years. Went through like a bunch of different visas, got my green card, lived in New York as an actor for 8 years, moved back home for a year.
Explain the Meisner technique, because I did this as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like people don't realize how insane it is, but it's.
I think it's brilliant.
I think it's insane when you're doing it, and then 10 years later, you're like,
oh yeah,
yeah. But explain it real quick.
So Meisner technique came out of Stanislavski, which is from method acting, and Strasberg sort of went sort of a more personal attachment in terms of sense memory. Mm-hmm. But Meisner was seeking a technique, Sanford Meisner was seeking a technique that allowed you to really live in the moment based on what was happening in the given moment, in the given circumstance. So what he developed was this system of observation and repetition. So you would look at someone and it starts as simple as you're wearing a white T-shirt.
You're wearing a white T-shirt.
And I'm wearing a gray T-shirt, but you're wearing a white T-shirt. You're wearing a white T-shirt. Mm-hmm. And then the other guy would say, I'm wearing a white T-shirt.
I'm wearing a white T-shirt.
You're wearing a white T-shirt. And so you repeat this over and over, and eventually you sense that there's other things going on. It's not just about him wearing a white T-shirt. He's actually kind of, you're thinking about what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're thinking about what
I'm thinking about what you're saying.
Saying. So it becomes what you like learn to do with this technique is it becomes subtext. Mm-hmm. So you have your script and you become really responsive in a given moment because you're not just saying lines, you're like saying things, but there's other things that are going on in the room, and there's like this whole other context.
You start living your lines instead of saying them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think every stand-up comic should do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're doing the same material over and over again at mics, and then eventually it becomes that same like, oh, I can't just say these jokes. I need to actually they need to be said in the moment every time.
Part of the quotes, like some of the quotes are, totally agree with you. Some of the quotes are like, every moment has meaning. An ounce of behavior is worth a pound of words. Mm-hmm. So it's like those moments in like, even when you watch stand-up comedy, a Chris Rock reaction can be way funnier than like him talking for a while or whatever. I mean, he's amazing. It's probably a bad example, but like watching someone react to something that just like for an instant, that's what's memorable. And so that's sort of what this technique teaches you, is just how to be really present in the moment. And so I studied there under their master class and did 2 years of acting there. And yeah.
Then you landed out here.
Then I did theater in New York for about 8 years. And then I moved out here. Well, I came out here on vacation, liked it, and stayed. Mm-hmm. And
that's when you started working at the Improv?
Yeah, I needed a job. Mm-hmm. I was never really into stand-up comedy. I mean, I loved stand-up comedy, but I wasn't like pursuing stand-up comedy. I'd done sketch back in New York, and I've always been involved in comedy or comedic plays or whatever, one or the other. And I would write funny songs with my buddies, like these stupid, silly songs back in high school, like about like Cleveland steamers and women like jizzing in alleys, like terrible, stupid things. And
I love that we just had a really important conversation about the Meisner technique and how like living in the moment, and then jizzing on
cardboard
Cleveland's
boxes.
Clothes. Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we would do. Yeah. I can't even. I've had to like reinvent myself like 10 times in this career, and I think it's because of Unionville and like those arts programs. I've been able to do it because I've just had this broad understanding of stuff. So I came out to LA and got a job as a door guy at the Improv, because at the time at the Improv they weren't hiring guys that wanted to do stand-up, because they just wanted people to like work and like be professional and be cool. And I was like, okay. And so I just went in there. My wife's like, just go in there and just be nice and just meet people and say hi. And
you had already been with your wife at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were like serious. We were going to be getting engaged within like
cool.
another year.
And you met her in New York?
Mm-hmm. We met her doing a play when I was back in New York.
Right
on. And I just sort of went like just hanging out at the door and tearing tickets when I was like 30, and just saying hi and meeting everyone, being nice to everybody. And like then eventually I was playing piano before a show just before my tech shift, and Paige, who's now the booker there, said, "Oh, just keep playing." And then I started playing before shows, and I was playing piano on the Hollywood Improv main stage out of obscurity after not even having a set, not even having like a joke. And I was playing there and like riffing off the audience, and then different comics would like see me doing that, and then like out of nowhere, like Jeff Ross would be like, "Hey, where's Avery?" Like, and like Jeff Ross would bring me up there, or Apatow, or Tiffany Haddish, like all these like great people, and they just wanted like, I think what's happened is like they just wanted to be able to do like have some fun with music, do something different.
It's so great. You anyone listening to this, Avery is the piano man for the LA comedy scene. Like just having you on stage and like it makes it better, you know, because every once in a while you can be like just riffing on shit with the guy on the piano. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, that's really nice. I appreciate it. That's very nice. Thank you.
Hell yeah, dude. So you had to reinvent yourself a bunch of times.
And then I just found this, and then I did it once. Then I started subbing at the store. Jay Manium got me a job at the store playing piano on Potluck. Worked there for free for a year, and then because they never used to pay the piano guy, and then they started paying me, which was great. And then one night I subbed in for Jeff Scott, the famous Jeff Scott of the store, and Adam Ray was on, and we just started like riffing.
That's right, yeah.
And we talked after, and he's like, "You know, I have a background in musical theater." I'm like, "I have a background in musical theater too." It was like the gay, it's like so stupid. And we started practicing, and then he's like, "I'm going to bring you on the road." And then I've been on the road with Adam for like
you guys are
a year
great
and a
together.
half. Thanks.
And Brad as well, right?
Brad, yeah. Brad will mess around on his
Williams,
podcast. Yeah, on his podcast, I'll play around with those guys, and with Adam, we do like mostly improvise songs off the audience, what's going on. We have like a few set songs, and you know, we have a lot of fun. I mean, it's great. I mean, if you're ever around, just come check it out. We just did Rec Room, Hunter Hill's
great
spot.
room,
amazing.
Great
have you been down there?
Yeah, it's so. It is the anyone who's ever heard Todd Glass bitch about a perfect room to do stand up.
Yeah.
This is that room.
Yeah.
Like it's set up exactly how it's supposed to be.
It's amazing. The energy is great. The sound system's amazing. The crowd is sat properly. They're your little semicircle right in the front. Everyone, it's just amazing. The people in the front, you always get a sense like, oh, they're gonna be good to riff off of. They're not gonna go crazy.
It's also proof that you can make a perfect room in any environment because it's in an arcade.
It's
in
in a glow zone.
Alley.
Yeah. It's in a glow zone. And guess what? In between sets, you get to go play for free because Hunter's the best.
It's amazing.
And we just played. I forget what it was like. We were shooting each other last night. It was fun. Anyways, yeah.
And that's it. That's
my life.
That is the reinvention of Avery over many years.
It's crazy,
much
right? Much like
the beginning
Thornhill.
of Thornhill.
Oh man, you're a great host. You just looped that right back to Thornhill. I'm like the guy that killed himself. Maybe.
No, I mean you went to kill yourself there at one point whenever you wanted to leave Unionville,
right?
And then you realized, you know what? I can use my fingers to sign my own thing.
Did you just shape that whole interview? Good for you, man. That was great.
It happened.
I will say, any comics listening, you should definitely do this podcast because it's just like Joe's great, and this has been so much fun, and you get to like hear about your hometown.
Who doesn't want to hear about the hometown?
Man,
you are you are your hometown.
Everyone reps.
Whether you love it or you hate it, it made you. I'm gonna
go back when I go home. I have a Thornhill T-Birds. That's my old baseball team. I got a hat. I'm gonna get it.
I thought you were about to say you were in the like you guys made a Grease team of T-Birds like the in Grease.
I was in Grease as a backup, but yeah, no, I was in Princess of the P. I was one of the princes, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm gonna get my hat back. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it proud. Thornhill.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me, man. This is a blast.
We'll have to go watch next time the Maple Leafs play the Predators. We'll have to watch it.
Hell yeah, you should come over. It'd be fun.
The Preds will win.
Probably not.
Oh yeah,
we're actually a better team right now.
No, we're better.
No, it's not true. We can look at the records if you want to pull that up.
All right, we'll go.
We're 7-3. What do you guys? Yeah.